What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 5 of the Hard Breach. I know we've been on a bit of a hiatus with the whole in between the splits of the season and then the whole coronavirus going down, but we are officially back and we are going to jump right into it. The first thing that I actually want to talk about is the Siege GG top 10 list that they just came out with for last year. And I don't know if you guys have seen the list, but I'm like 50-50 on it. I agree with some and then I disagree with others, but let's just go down the list. At 10, you have Vertical, 9, Bosco, 8, Joystick, 7, Bolo, 6, Aces, 5, Cantor Raketti, 4, Paula, 3, Dan, 2, Rampy, and 1, Shiko. I think my biggest thing in this whole thing was where Rampy and Shiko were. In my opinion, I would switch Rampy and Shiko. I would have Rampy at 1 and Shiko at 2. I think Rampy has overall, I think he's proven himself a little bit more within, like, not necessarily just the last split and the last season, but I think he has been more consistent at all the lands that he's gone to. I mean, he just won Invitational and he absolutely popped off. Like, Shiko is good. He's extremely good. But I don't think Shiko has necessarily, I guess, done as much as Rampy has within the last year and a half or so. I think Rampy should have the number 1 spot, but I also agree. I mean, like, I'm okay with both of them being like the top 1 or 2, but I think they should switch. I think another problem that a lot of people had were that there didn't seem to be a lot of supports on the list. I think the only support that you really see stick out is Bosco. But even then, Bosco is no longer the hard support for SSG. That is Troy Canadian. So, I don't know if you guys saw a Twitter post a couple of days ago, but the good old Super Seth actually tweeted that he thinks the Siege GG top 10 list is extremely biased towards fraggers and it does not reward support players. And I personally agree with that.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
If you think about it, I think Shepard from Empire deserved a spot on that top 10 list. The amount of plays that I have seen that man single-handedly do while being a support player, for me, is insane. And he's also planting the bomb. He's winning his ones. He's winning his 1vx's. Like, Shepard does what he needs to do to make sure that his team is winning. And I don't think he's necessarily rewarded for it as much as Joystick. Or as much as any of the other fraggers. So yes, I do think there are some people that should be on the list that necessarily aren't. And I think there are a couple people on the list that I don't think have proven themselves enough to be on the list. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think everybody on the list is extremely good. They've done what they've needed to do. But I do think that some people have earned it more than others. And I think they kind of got shafted out of it. We'll put it that way. Any other players that you think should be on the list or that should have made the list? Or I mean, not necessarily just made the list, but at least made honorable mentions. Like, in my opinion, I think Fultz should have at least made honorable mentions. Like, that Fultz had let me tell you, he had a year. He showed up and he put his foot in the door and he swung it wide open. Like, he did everything in his power to help SSG like succeed. And then next thing you know, they're fucking invitational champs. I think Fultz at least deserved an honorable mention, but I don't know. CGG rating's not very nice to people sometimes. The next thing that I want to talk about is a couple of the Pro League games that just popped back up since we had NA the other day. I don't know if you guys watch NA. Some of you guys might be EU or APAC or Latin America, whatever region you guys like watching. But I don't know how up to date you guys are on it, so I'm just going to fill you in with some of the scores. EG and Tempo Storm, the 7th and 8th place teams, they tied. They went 6-6. TSM beat Dark Zero 7-4, and they're continuing their reign on first place, and they're gaining even more of a lead. Reciprocity 7-2'd United. I think watching that game, it seemed like it should have been a little bit closer than the scoreline says it is. I think there were a lot of close rounds, but ultimately Rec did do better. And SSG and LG 7-5. That one for me was kind of interesting. From watching it, I think SSG started off a little slow, and LG kind of came out of the door swinging. But I don't know if you guys have seen a couple of the leaks that have come out on Twitter. I have no idea if they're true, but there's a Twitter account called like the Leakers or something, and they tweeted that Evil Geniuses and Luminosity will be leaving the scene. What that means, I have no idea. What that means for the players, I also have no idea. I don't know if it's true. I hope it's not true, but having that kind of a rumor go around while you're also playing in your last split, I think kind of it would affect the team morale. Like, I don't think you're going to go into the game the same way you would normally, knowing that there's a rumor going around that your org is up and leaving. But I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to it if it is true, and there's more to be released or leaked. I don't know which one, but I will keep my fingers crossed for all 10 of those players and their coaches, and I hope that they continue to keep their spots or keep their orgs or keep their livelihood as of right now. Like, Siege isn't just like a game anymore for these people. Like, it's their jobs, and to not have that kind of like job stability is stressful. But another game that I wanted to talk about was the EU Pro League game of the powerhouse G2 and Rogue. I don't think many people expected G2 to necessarily lose, considering they just picked up two of the best fraggers, at least in their regions, Virtue and Citizen. I want to say that G2 just needs more time to adjust to these two players, but when you have two players that are that mechanically skilled, do you necessarily need that much time to like adjust to them to win a Pro League game?
24 hours later.
Oh, the next thing I was going to say was I think everybody is waiting to see if Virtue slays an EU the same way that he slayed an APAC. Because in APAC, it was like, he was taking candy from a baby. Like, it was like he was popping heads like left and right. But EU, I wonder if it's a bit of a different story. I wonder if he's just getting comfortable, or if the player like skill level here is a little bit higher than the skill level back in APAC. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see if Virtue does as well in EU as he did in APAC. But I think that's about all I got. Thank you for watching this episode of The Hard Breach. I think that about sums up what has happened within the last couple weeks. I know it's been slow, and I know we're in a bit of a trying time right now. For those who are stuck inside on quarantine, I hope I was able to bring you a little bit of entertainment, and I hope you guys are staying sane. I know some people are bored out of their minds, but your health right now it should be your ultimate priority. For those who are actually still stuck going to work because you are an essential business, please stay safe, stay healthy, use a lot of hand sanitizer, wash your hands, do what you gotta do, but be careful, and please stay safe. I'm your host, Goddess, and you've just been breached.